everybody, and welcome back to Blanche Case Fitness. It's Friday, and you know what that means? It's time for functional home fitness, where we do weight training using objects you can find around the house. And holy crap, my friends, it's our anniversary! Wow! Yes, mark it down to things that I would never remember without Facebook around, which kills me because, you know, evil empire, etc., etc. But yeah, I went in my memories today, and it was like, yeah, a year ago, you were just kicking off this streaming thing and had no idea what it was going to look like or if it was going to work, and you were a little terrified, and, you know, a lot of stuff was going on. And here we are, a whole year later, which is just so wild, so freaking wild. Oh my God. And I definitely could not have foreseen getting here over the course of the year. You know, it's just been such a wonderful, wonderful ride with all of you through the weird technical discoveries and the time that I forgot to turn my mic on for an entire stream, and you know, figuring out how to light myself so that you can actually still see what I'm doing, and building out a community and getting ourselves to Twitch affiliate, and it's just wild, absolutely wild. So yeah, holy crap. Hi, it's a year later, and I am so excited by that. And I'm just so grateful to everybody who has come and taken class, who has hung out in chat, who has, you know, let friends and family know about the streams, who has donated, who's followed and subscribed, and who's generally just supported me as I went, all right, well, let's give this a try. And yeah, thank you so freaking much, because this has been a huge part of maintaining my own health and happiness to the best of my ability over the last year, over a really intense, hard year that was really awful in so many ways. This has been a consistent bright spot from, you know, the first few months when I was just streaming once or twice a week and, you know, wasn't really keeping it on a consistent day, to when we really sort of took charge in, I think, June of last year, and said, all right, we're going to have a regular broadcasting schedule. Holy crap. I can't believe it. I can't believe it's been a year for a lot of reasons, but this is a good one. I can't believe it's been a year, and I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy to be here with all of you. I know I just said the same thing twice in a row, but, you know, happiness makes you not necessarily so great with the words. Yay, words. But yeah, hard to believe. Hello, welcome. I don't know if you heard me waxing poetic just then about the fact that it's channelversary. It's our first anniversary of being a channel, so it's a good day. And I'm really glad that a class actually fell on today, because that means that we can hang out. Yay for hanging out. I feel like, you know, regardless, whenever the anniversary day falls, I'll probably do channel anniversary streams. But this worked out perfectly because we already had a stream scheduled. So, woo! Happy Friday, everybody. I hope that you're doing okay. I hope that your week has gone pretty well. Yeah, it's, you know, we're moving along, friends. We are. phase 1B4 has kicked off here in Colorado, and people I know and love are actually getting their first vaccine appointments, which is really, really nice. And yeah, I feel like my emotions are still very confused about everything, and about like having hope that, you know, I'll be able to gather at the very least with small groups of my family and friends at some point this year. But it's good to see people getting vaccinated. It's really good to see people getting vaccinated. And yeah, you know, the governor of Colorado, at the very least, intends to have everybody eligible for vaccination by mid-April, which is far sooner than I was expecting to be eligible. So, you know, we'll see. Obviously, there's a lot of daylight between now and mid-April, but gosh, it would be nice. It would be very, very nice. I will be very excited when I am able to do that, and I will, you know, obviously, likely, if it happens on a stream day, I will probably take a day or two off from streaming just to make sure that there are no major side effects that I have to work through. And I want you all to keep that in mind as well. Whenever you are able to get your vaccination, I want you to really pay attention to how you're feeling. If you are having any side effects, don't come to class that day, all right? Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. We talk about it a lot. It becomes particularly important with a vaccine that does tend to have side effects that can knock you out a little bit. So just make sure, as we're all getting vaccinated, that that you're taking care of yourself. And if you need to take a few days off of working out, that is totally fine. Totally fine, my friends. Wow. What a year. What a year. I don't even know how to deal with this past year, but we are moving in some sort of direction, and hopefully it's a positive one, because there are so many people who I would like to see in 2021. Yeah, it would be really nice to to actually see people. All right, but in the meantime, since we can't see people right now, which is sad, but okay, we're in the home stretch. We're doing all right. And you know what? We've been taking care of each other for a year now, and that's really awesome. So, hey, I think it's just about class time. So, welcome. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Today is Functional Home Fitness. Hi, my dear. Hello. So this class is a little bit different from the rest of the classes on the stream. This is our weight training class using stuff you can find around your house. So, it's important to get Agatha Fisty watching, and I totally understand. I was watching Agatha earlier myself. So we do weight training using things like laundry detergent bottles and giant textbooks, and, you know, my copies of the first 2 books in the Expanse series and stuff like that. And I have 2 advisories I like to give at the beginning of this class. One is more specific to this class, and one is more generalized towards free weight training, particularly arm exercises. So the advisory for this class: we are using objects that are not designed to be gym equipment. They are not ergonomically shaped necessarily. They don't have their weight written nicely on the side, you know, 15 pounds, 20 kilograms, what have you. So if this is your first time taking class and you're testing out a lot of objects and you've never weight trained with them before, err on the side of caution, all right? Go lighter to start with. Test it out for a set, maybe 2, and then determine whether you feel comfortable ramping up a little bit, or whether you're happy with where you are, or whether you even need to drop a little bit of weight. One of the reasons why I really like using backpacks and tote bags for this class, although I don't have any that I'm using today, but one of the reasons that they're really good is because you can change the amount of weight much more easily, because you can put things in, you can take things out, and the bag is the shape you need to worry about. But you can throw in random stuff into the bag that's not necessarily as easy to weight lift with, because you're not worried about lifting with that, you're just lifting with the bag. But err on the side of caution, and as you get to know your equipment, it is totally fine to stick to the same items time after time, okay? Because again, we want to make sure that we are being safe while we are weight training, and it takes a lot more work when you're not using really nicely designed weights, okay? So that's advisory number 1. Advisory number 2 is more generalized for free weight training, particularly with arms. We're not symmetrical creatures. We have stronger sides and weaker sides, and we have a tendency to think to ourselves when we are loading up for a free weight exercise where we're holding one weight in each hand and they have to be the same amount of weight, we have a tendency to go, well, you know, if I push the amount of weight up to what my stronger side can do, that'll obviously help to more quickly strengthen my weaker side. That's not how muscles work. So whenever you're loading yourself, make sure that you are loading based on the capacity of your weaker arm, so that you're not putting it in a position where it has to make unhealthy compensations to even be able to move the weight through space, and putting it into a position where it's more likely to sustain an injury, which will have far more of a long-term impact on your exercise than just more slowly ramping up the amount of weight that you use, okay? So those are advisories. Huzzah, huzzah. Today's class, in honor of our streamiversary, in honor of Agatha Christie, One Punch Grand, we go forth and let's do our pre-class checklist. So we make sure we have water. Today I've got my usual mason jar. I've also got this pint glass with, something that maybe somebody went into another room and yelled the name of a fruit and also the word alcohol, which is to say hard seltzer, not really doing anything. But it felt nice to have something vaguely celebratory. Oh God, yeah, I'm gonna probably just stick with my regular water. But I have my water in whatever vessel you want to put it in. We're at home, it's lovely. We've got our comfy clothes on, we got our mat-sized space on the floor. We've got whatever equipment we are planning to use today. Like I said, my batch of stuff today is my laundry detergent bottle, my personal training textbook, and a couple of copies of books from the Expanse series. And if you use a fitness wearable, now's the time to turn them on. Not high intensity interval training this time. We use traditional strength training or something similar for our Friday class, because except for the warm-up, it's not a HIIT class. It is strength training. So that's the news that's fit to print. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. If you're looking for an enjoyable Let's Play of Fallout 4 with Agatha Christie, One Punch Grand, follow that link. I can vouch for its safety. All right. It's time to warm up. Hey. I don't know what that song was, but it's all right. Is everything connected? These are the questions. I will tell you that I was watching Agatha Christie and then I re-downloaded Fallout Shelter onto my phone. I had gotten myself out for so long, but I think it just dragged me back in. All right, my loves, it's time to warm up. So everybody on your mats, on your backs, 1 foot crossed over the opposite knee, and as soon as that horn goes off, we will begin with hip rocks and bridges. Yeah, there we are. All right. Yeah, I like Fallout Shelter. I've really moved away from most mobile games, which is interesting. I used to have a nice stable of mobile games that I played fairly consistently, but I've found that as a gaming experience, I don't tend to enjoy it nearly as much. You know, mobile games, and I've worked in like, you know, always live games, so I understand the reasoning for this, but mobile games obviously have to be designed with the psychological understanding that the way that they become profitable is by building a game that people want to play every single day, and finding, you know, those gold sync points, where it's not that you can't keep going in the game, but wouldn't it be nice if you could do this thing so much faster? And that type of game is just, it has a really negative psychological impact on me. You know, and it ties into a lot of like gambling center things, I think. So it is, for me, not a style of game that I'm super into these days. I've got like one Sudoku app on my phone that I play, but I have been feeling the desire for something a little bit more involved and engaging than just my crappy Sudoku app. So honestly, I don't mind putting Fallout Shelter back on my phone, and you know, I'll build out my vault for a while and I'll have fun, and then I'll get to a place where I'm like, oh my god, this feels like it's consuming every part of my life, and then I'll probably put it away. Because that tends to be my my cadence with mobile games, is I'll sort of obsessively play for a while and then go, all right, cool, done with that, and move on to the next thing. But I've also been working my way through the DLC on Control, which I must have talked about Control on the stream at some point, but boy, is that one of the best games I've played in the last 5 years, I'll tell you. Just beautifully atmospheric and creepy. It's like right on the edge for me. I don't necessarily have a super high tolerance for games that are going to like reach in and really scare me. So for instance, I tried to play Prey and I just could not do it. That's the kind of game that I will watch someone else play, but I get a little bit too viscerally impacted by it to play myself. So Control's like right on the edge of that, where I can play it and love playing it, but it is really intense. Just as a content warning for anybody thinking about playing it. But God, it's just stunning storytelling, like really tight pacing, which is super exciting. And the DLC has been really wonderful to get to go back into the world. I actually just did an entire new playthrough of the game and then started working my way through the DLC. So if you're looking for a new console game, I highly recommend Control. Some of the best video game writing I've seen, again, in the last 5 years. I would put that up with like Horizon Zero Dawn, which is, oh man, my favorite. My absolute favorite. Oh wow. Talk about a game. I don't think I could ever stream a game like Horizon Zero Dawn, because that game just makes me cry too much. And games that make me cry, I'm like, okay, I want that to be sort of a personal experience, which streaming is not. Shocking, I know. But yes, Control is a strong recommend if you were looking for a new game on Xbox, or I think it's on PS4, but I have it on Xbox, so who knows. But yeah, so that's my console game, although I do have to go back and finish Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I sort of fell away from for a little bit, but I do definitely want to go back to. It was an excellent game. I didn't fall away from it because it wasn't good. It's a big game. They've really made the shift with Assassin's Creed into just super big games, giant open world. You know, you can run around for hours without ever touching the main storyline, kind of game. And you know, that is definitely a type of game that I very much enjoy. You know, I sank 400 hours into Dragon Age Inquisition. But it also can be a little overwhelming. And, you know, I was playing Valhalla, God, I think back in January or something. So the move was coming up, and I had a new job coming up, and all that stuff. All this stuff was happening. So I was like, I need to put Valhalla down for a little bit. But I think as I finish up the DLC in Control, I think that I would be ready to go back to rampaging through Old England as a Viking, because who doesn't want to do that? That just sounds super fun. And it is fun. It's a beautiful game. I've loved the Assassin's Creed series since game one. That was the first game I ever 100%ed. I'm far less of an achievement hunter now than I was when I first started playing video games, but the first 3 games, I think, I definitely was like, I'm going for everything. I'm going for I will collect every single frickin' flag in this stupid map. Oh my god. Oh, trying to get collectibles in older RPGs. Where there weren't map indicators for either for where they were or for when you had picked them up, and you just had to sort of go into each zone and pray that you hadn't already cleared it. Otherwise, you were going to waste a bunch of time just wandering around trying to find flags that would never materialize. There's some bad memories. Some bad memories of those times. So I do not miss those times, not at all. But yeah, I have loved that series since day one, and I will say too that this game and Origins have really started to bring back a core component of the Assassin's Creed games that they sort of fell away from for a while, which really bummed me out, which is really leaning into the batshit future stuff and having a character and a story arc to sort of anchor that. You know, no spoilers, but there's sort of one initial big arc that travels across the first 4 games, I think. And after that, they didn't really have a plan that they were following. And it made the games much more hit or miss for me from a story perspective. But in Origins, they started a new story arc, and that's been really cool and has sort of reinvigorated that component of the game, so they're not just, you know, wander through history simulators and occasionally shank people. But yes, I do strongly recommend Origins and Valhalla. you can skip Odyssey. Odyssey's just, oh, I was so angry at that game. So freaking angry at that game. But thankfully, I never have to play it again, so woohoo! That is the one thing about the Assassin's Creed games. Once you get past a certain point in technological improvements, in terms of game engines and mechanics, they become really hard to go back and play. You know, as opposed to, say, the original Mass Effect game, which came out in what, 07? That's when I first remember watching it played, so I think it was 07, and like, that's a game that I can still play in 2021. And it feels a little clunky, but not really from a mechanical standpoint. They really kept the mechanics pretty similar across all of the games. And, you know, they did make small tweaks here and there, but nothing that was such a vast change or a vast improvement that it makes going back to the earlier games uncomfortable. Whereas something like Assassin's Creed it's changed key mapping, it's improved, you know, free running mechanics and climbing mechanics, and changed the whole structure of their eagle vision setup. And so, you know, you go back too many games and you're just like, this is unplayable. It's so clunky, it's so hard to navigate, and it's just not enjoyable, which is a bummer, because I'd love to go back and replay some of those games, but unless they did a major remaster, I don't think I ever will. And they did remaster the Ezio collection, which is games 2, 3, and 4. And I started 2 and got maybe 20 minutes in and was like, nope, can't do this. This is no good. So, who knows? But you should put in the comments, or in the chat, not now because we're warming up, but when we get our break in a second, you should put what games you're playing, because it's always fun to find out what people are doing for their leisure time. You know, obviously spring is coming, which means that hopefully we'll get to transition some of our leisure time to being outdoors, which would just be so nice. I'm going to be fascinated to see what the weather is like the next few days, because it's supposed to get up to like 60 degrees tomorrow at least, and then it is supposed to snow for the next like 3 days. And you know, like, this is Colorado, right? So there is a chance that exactly that happens. And there's also a chance that that it's still super warm on Sunday and the snow never materializes, or it's rain, or something completely different. Who knows? But yeah, I am hoping that tomorrow is still the nice 60-degree weather that is currently forecast, because I have D&D tomorrow, and it would be very nice to be able to sit outside properly distanced and masked, and at least get to see each other in person. You know, everybody is just trying to figure out how to keep playing D&D in these trying times, and it is complicated. You know, I spend a lot of time on Zoom for work, and I don't necessarily have the energy or the desire to spend even more time on it during my off hours. All right, look at us go. Here we are at the end of the warm-up, remembering to do wave push-ups, not planks, and getting that nice victory clap up at the top. Feeling good and warmed up and ready to do some awesome weight training with whatever random stuff you've located, and just have a grand old time on this, our first anniversary as a channel. Woo! All right. I discovered while editing the other day that I really need to calm down on the shrieking or get better mics, because I definitely blew out my laptop mic a couple of times. Wah wah. Oh, they are remastering Mass Effect. Let me tell you, I am going to throw money at them for that. Oh my goodness. Oh, I need to dig into Stardew Valley again. That's just such a good game. That is one of my favorites. Absolutely. All right. I tried playing Monument Valley, and it's interesting. There's a genre of puzzle games that's very focused on like beautiful atmospheric graphics, which I really appreciate. Like, I love the art style. I don't find the puzzles that compelling, so I've tried it a couple of times and been like, I think I'm okay. Now, The Room, the series of mobile games called The Room, is just so good. Such good puzzle games. Have you played Euphoria? I have not played Euphoria. I haven't even heard of it. What is it? Yeah, no, when I generally play the Mass Effect series once a year, and when the remaster comes out, I will keep doing that, I guess, but on a nicer version of the game. Speaking of games that I could never stream because there are too many parts of them that make me cry. Oh my goodness. Yay! You've been playing Squadrons, which is not my type of game, but I love that people love it. And like, I do see the appeal. Just for whatever reason, I don't enjoy like flight sim games. I don't know why. Who knows? Who knows? Look, we finished our warm-up, so cheers to our warm-up. Yeah. This is a black cherry flavor. And, yeah, and it's got the chemicals to prove it. All right, my friends, let's do some weight training. Let's have an awesome weight training class. So we are going to have 4 exercises, and the first one is going to be weighted bridges. So I'm going to use something heavy, like this laundry detergent bottle. If I was using gym equipment, I'd probably use a heavier dumbbell. And we are literally going to set it on our hips, have our feet flat on the floor, heels pretty close in towards the butt, and we're just going to be bridging up and down. And so the weight just creates additional external force that we have to push through to get up into the bridge, okay? Second exercise. What do I want to do? You know, second and third exercise. So side 1 and side 2. We are going to do our extended crunch. Ah, I ran into the wall. So taking a lighter weight, so similar to if we were doing lateral raises. Spoilers, we might be doing that later, but a lighter amount of weight, and we're going to reach it behind us, not putting the arm on the floor, okay? Keeping the arm lifted. And then I'm going to lift the arm with the weight to the opposite foot and just get that nice crunch. Feel the oblique pulling both sides together, and down and up and down. And then exercise 3 will be the other side, okay? So those are exercises 2 and 3. Exercise 4 is going to be those lateral raises. So we're going to take a nice standing position here, and we're just going to lift the weights up to shoulder height and then lower. And you want to use lighter weights for these like really shoulder focused exercises. That's an area that you really want to ramp super slowly on. So I generally stick with lighter paperback books for that reason. I don't know why I got that buddy down. You know what? No, I'm going to add a 5th exercise. That's why I got it down. We are going to do a wall sit. Let me show you from over here, just so you can see it, except there's a laundry detergent bottle on the way. So we come down into our wall sit. We're trying to keep nice 90-degree angles. So torso to thighs, thighs to shins, and we're going to hold a weight out in front of us. If you want to add a little movement, a little more oblique fun, you can twist from side to side. That's not mandatory though. Because the wall sit is not a standard, we do this number of reps, I will just let you know when a minute has gone by on the timer. And then you can make the decision whether to stop there or stay in the wall sit a bit more. Okay, so we're doing the weighted bridge. We're doing extended crunch, side 1 and 2. We're doing our lateral raises, and we're doing nice wall sit. Alrighty, so this is our usual timer structure. 2 minutes, as soon as you hear the horn, you begin doing your reps. Let's do 20 to 35. That's the usual range that I give. And then once you've finished your reps, use the rest of the timer as rest, okay? Alrighty. So, everybody get down on your mat. I'm gonna put this down here actually so I can see it when we're doing the wall sit. Down on your mat, getting that nice big weight for the bridges. And there we go, okay? So, yeah, there's not a ton of form notes for this. You do want to keep your knees parallel, not like caving in towards one another. And that's a pretty standard note that I have for anything that even vaguely looks like a squat, is making sure that you're keeping those knees nice and parallel, safely over the feet. But otherwise, we're not going too many places with this particular exercise, so you can really just focus in on lifting the weight up and lowering it down. And you do want to maintain control. You don't want to slam your butt back down to the floor. Okay, so as with almost everything that we do not want gravity to get to be involved, basically. Gravity does not get to participate in this exercise. Oh, yeah, Andromeda's in my queue as well. Quadrilateral Cowboy, I have not heard of. I don't think I could bear to go back to Original Mist because I never finished it as a kid. All of those like point and click adventure puzzle games are games that like I really loved, but also that just drove me nuts. And eventually you would hit a place where you're like, I cannot tell what minuscule pixel the game wants me to click on in order to advance the story, and I'm just gonna give up. Like, so I did that with Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, and it's funny because years later I bought it on Steam, and I went back and I started playing it again, and I got to the point in the game that had stumped me over and over again when I was younger, and I finally figured out how to get through it. It was, for anyone who's played that game, it was the quarry area, and there's like one tripod that you have to click on and adjust ever so slightly, and it was just like the one pixel that I didn't friggin' click on all those years ago. And so I got through it, kept going through the game, got to a new area where I was like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do right now, and went, you know what? I'm good. I conquered the mountain that had bested me in my youth. And I'm okay with leaving it there. And so I just was like, all right, done with that game. Because, you know, you have to make the determination about how much grief you are willing to undergo when playing a game. And I have never been a gamer who enjoys feeling like I am wrestling with a game. Which is like, yeah, it is not my preferred mode of gameplay. I don't like games that make me feel stupid. I don't like games that make me feel overwhelmingly frustrated. And so I was just like, yeah, okay, you know, every once in a while I think about going back and trying the same thing with Day of the Tentacle, which was the other game that just, I played it so much, and I just got to this one point where I could not, for the life of me, figure out what to do next. And after a while, you're just like, it's not worth it to go back and keep throwing myself against this brick wall, basically. So, yeah, I feel perfectly good about my decision to just say, yeah, fun times, and now they're done. All right. Woo! Although, my friend Cassie streams. She and a friend of hers stream every Wednesday, and the other day they were playing King's Quest VI, and I had a fascinating experience watching that because I played a ton of King's Quest VI. I loved that game growing up, absolutely, and I'm watching the stream and going, oh my god, yeah, I totally remember this. And I remember this puzzle, and I remember this musical cue, and like, oh, you get the mint, and you're supposed to put it in the giant stuffed bear, I think. But at the same time, I was just completely baffled because for probably about 2 decades at least, I have been confusing that game for a totally different game that I used to play. So I had taken the title, King's Quest VI, and applied it to a side-scrolling platformer for, I think, the Sega Genesis. That was like, you know, barbarians and standard fantasy trope stuff. And I had thought that that was King's Quest VI. And so the whole time I was having both this like nostalgic, oh, I remember this, and this like really weird like mirror universe, wait, then what the hell was that other game I used to play that I've been calling King's Quest VI for the last 20 years? And I don't know. I have no idea what that game was. I used to play it with our landlord's son because he was the one who had the gaming consoles. And it was like we would play that and we would play an X-Men game. And those were the games that we would play. But yeah, so I have no idea what that game was called. But apparently it was not called King's Quest VI because King's Quest VI was another point-and-click adventure game. And super fun. I like seriously was watching them and going, I would like to go back and replay this because I remember how delightful this was. And it's really fun to watch it again. So we'll see. We'll see if I do end up going back and playing it, because it's also entirely possible that I derived more enjoyment from watching my friend play it than I would from going back and playing it myself. You know, because that happens sometimes, frequently actually. So we'll see. But yes, if any of you played King's Quest VI, did you remember it was a point-and-click adventure game? Because I definitely had not, and was very confused at the beginning of the game, and then was even more confused when I realized that I did recognize the game, and I did know what it was, and I had played it. It just, all right, a minute has passed. It just wasn't the game that I thought it was. So, yes, weird quirks of memory. Memory is a weird thing. And, yeah, just so many strange games of my youth. All of my coworkers, well, the majority of my coworkers we're all basically of the same generation. You know, we're all in our mid to late 30s. And we were talking the other day about how, you know, how we have really lived through epic transformations in home technology and in what you can expect from it and what capabilities it has. And it's really, really fascinating to think back to, you know, when I was 6 and playing oids and little like math games on our Atari, not even an Atari console, it was an Atari PC, you know, from those games to you know, to being able to play Fallout Shelter on my freaking pocket computer, and you know, the insane amount of memory and processing power that a game like Control requires. A game that would not have, like, you couldn't have even conceived of a game like that when I was a kid. And it's just, it is so strange to look at how technology has changed over all of these years, and our expectations for it and our understanding of what it is able to do. And it's all so different now. And that was like, you know, obviously adults in our lives lived through that as well, but like our generation was sort of living through it in the way where it becomes more a part of your DNA as a person. And now, you know, there are kids who have never known a world without insanely powerful Xboxes and PS4s and other consoles, and they're having an even wilder experience. One of my non-biological nieces, God, is she 13? She might be 13. And they go skiing a lot, and you know, I remember her dad always sort of getting blown away by the fact that, like, as a kid, you have the worst outdoor winter gear that you will ever have in your life, because technology improves and moves along, and you know, you keep buying better stuff as better stuff keeps being made. And you know, just comparing like the quality of ski gear that he had available to him as a kid, which was of course the worst ski gear that he ever had to deal with, versus the level of quality that she has available to her, which is just, and that's like, this really incredible, highly technological stuff is going to be the worst stuff that she ever uses in her entire life. And it's just fascinating to watch how technology evolves. Because it moves. It moves at a pretty fast clip. All right. How's everybody feeling? We are in round 2 of our sets. We are finishing up side 1 of the extended crunch and gonna head into side 2 momentarily. I do love this extended crunch exercise. It works the obliques so nicely, which is really important. They are just an excellent muscle group for both stabilizing and force generation, you know, so they are really important for keeping us safe and helping us to maintain a stable and still base for certain exercises. And they also are really important for generating a lot of power to really, you know, ground a movement in. And the obliques in particular add that twisting force that is so critical as well. So I am pleased to have come across this particular exercise. I think it is a good addition to the stable of exercises. Woo! All right, get some more water. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that is also a very good point. Kids grow so fast. But even if you're getting your kids, you know, gear that's a few years old, it's still wildly better quality than anything that you had available to you as a kid. I've never skied, so that's never been something that I was concerned about. All right. This is the one of these seltzers, the only one that has a particularly discernible taste. The rest of them, you know the old like goof about like flavored seltzer waters like LaCroix, where you know it's basically like somebody went into, somebody opened a can of seltzer water and then went into another room and yelled the name of a fruit. This is the only one that I've come across that is like, oh no, there's definitely flavor there. The smell of this one is taking over the studio a little bit, which is not my favorite thing, but oh well. But yeah, it is perfectly fine, and not something that I would buy again. I am more than happy to be coming to the end of the discount White Claw stash. Oh my goodness. All right. Oh, feeling good, my friends. What an awesome Friday evening. Oh, it's so nice to see how light it still is outside. Holy crap. Yeah, I think we're actually heading towards spring. I think that's actually something that's happening, which is just wild to me. Do I know what year it is? Barely. Do I know what month it is? Only because it's been March for the last year. But I can tell you that it was not staying light this late a few weeks ago. So that's at least something to cling to. A change to cling to in the grand scheme of everything. But all right, here we go into our wall sit. Remember, you're able to really push back against the feet and push that back into the wall. So you're creating, you're just sort of jamming yourself up against the wall and using that force to help hold you steady in the seated position. If you are experiencing a lot of trembling in your quads, don't worry, that's totally normal. Even I get a little bit of tremble. And it's not something that should freak you out or make you think that you're not doing the exercise correctly. That's just your quads going, hey, so this is hard. All right, a minute has passed. So yeah, and that tends to happen when we're doing held exercises like that, isometric exercises like that, because the muscles are working really hard, but they're not doing either of the two things that they're more used to. They're used to contracting, that's always what the muscle fiber is trying to do, and they're used to extending if the external force applied is stronger than the force that the muscle fiber can generate. That's how our muscle fiber lengthens. But our isometric muscle actions are just, the muscle is here, it's ready to go, but it can't really go anywhere because nothing's moving, and it can't apply that force, all right? So, yeah, so we tend to feel that trembling a lot in exercises like wall sits, and planks, front planks, or side planks. That's definitely a place where you might feel it. So just breathe through it. That's always a really good time to work on some breath visualization, and just every time you inhale, visualize the oxygen going to wherever you're feeling the most intensity of sensation, okay? And that can really help to calm the muscles down and let them know that they're still getting everything that they need. And then, as you get stronger, you start to make the really happy realization that that your muscles aren't trembling as much as they used to, which is always really exciting. So that is another thing There was a chat message I was going to read. The weird flavors. Oh, there's a Boston cream pie seltzer? Ugh. Oh no. Negative Ghost Rider. Ooh. Oh. How would they even know? You know what? I don't want to know, because the answer is food chemistry, which is a fascinating science, FYI. The ways in which we develop flavorings and how they do or do not bear any resemblance to what we are basing the flavorings off of is really fascinating. So, you know, things like I have a very clear understanding of, that was weird, of what artificial grape tastes like. And I also know that artificial grape tastes nothing like real life grapes, or at least not any type of real life grape that I have ever eaten. But I could eat a candy and immediately go, oh yeah, that's grape flavored, you know? Which is just so fascinating to me, how those decisions get made, you know? Who's building these flavor profiles and deciding what artificial grape is supposed to taste like. It's certainly not me, but it is very interesting to look at. How did I get on that? I think that's one of the things I enjoy most about streaming, honestly, is kind of getting to go on just like super stream of consciousness conversational tacks. It's fascinating. Like, I'm basically talking to myself. You know, every once in a while we're chatting through chat, but like, I'm not reading chat when I'm over here on the mat. So most of the time I'm just sort of taking you on a tour of whatever is in my head right now. It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice to have that freedom, you know. It's not really something that you can do in like in-person conversation as easily, but it works well. It works well here on the stream, and it means that we get to talk about everything from old video games to ski equipment technology to the chemistry of different artificial food flavors, and that's a lot of fun stuff to dig into, I think. All right, how you feeling on these extended crunches? Remember, you are holding and supporting this weight. Your shoulder is fully engaged, okay? You're not lying the arm down on the floor. You want to make sure that your shoulder is not being overly strained by holding this weight, which is another reason why we go for a lighter amount of weight rather than a heavier one. So if I was doing this with dumbbells, I'd be using a 5-pounder at most right now. Part of that obviously is because I have shoulder issues, but also, you know, we've talked about how our shoulders are the most unstable joint in our body, and they're more easily overloaded. And when it's an exercise that is really driven by your shoulder strength specifically, you want to be more cautious, all right? Mint chocolate. Oh, weird. Yeah, watermelon, it's interesting. I'm in the opposite side of that particular spectrum. Like, real life watermelon so rarely tastes of anything to me. But But I find artificial watermelon to be kind of a lovely, delicate flavor. Like watermelon Jolly Ranchers, great. Ooh, yeah. But mint chocolate seltzer just seems incredibly unpleasant, and I'm not sure why. Like, mint chocolate is an excellent flavor profile, don't get me wrong, but it just does not seem like something I want to put in my person, for lack of a better term. Yeah, I like this game though. Everybody keep putting whatever the weirdest seltzer flavors you've come across. I came across in the same batch as this black cherry. I came across a mango flavored beverage for the very first time, and like I grew up in Hawaii, so I have very strong feelings about mango. And it was fascinating because on the one hand, it was immediately identifiable as mango. Like, they did a good job with the chemistry, but on the other hand, it was lacking the sweetness of a real mango. Like, one of the few times when a drink actually needed some freaking added sugars, because real mango has sugar in it and has a sweetness to it. And this had captured everything about the flavor except for the sweetness, and I just found it really unpleasant. I tried one and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go for this one again, cause yeah, and it's fascinating because usually I don't like to drink sugary drinks a ton. You know, I don't drink juices. I don't keep soda at home, stuff like that. But this was the one time that I came across something that I was like, you know what? This flavor profile would have been improved immeasurably if it had some sugar in it. But that's not what these seltzers are about, you know. They're all about like, hey, we're calorie free. Isn't that great? Doesn't that make us healthy? Etc., etc. And I was like, yeah, you know, I think I'm good. All right, that was a minute. Okay, my friends, we've got one more set left. One more set. Yeah. Here we go. Oh God. Do not try and peer pressure each other into drinking seltzer. Friends don't let friends drink seltzer if they don't like the taste or the flavor. I don't know why I'm still going for this. You know what? We're celebrating. That's why. We are celebrating 1 year on the channel. Holy crap. I don't even know what to do with that realization. I'm gonna have to put it in my calendar. I'm honestly kind of embarrassed that I did not realize it until Facebook reminded me today. You know, but to be fair, I didn't really realize the import of what I was doing when I streamed that first class last year. You know, it was only the 19th. We were still thinking that like this was gonna hold people over until everything reopened at the end of the month. Like this wasn't necessarily going to be a long-term thing. Like I've been thinking about streaming fitness classes for a while. So it's not like the idea came out of nowhere, but I had no idea what I was getting off the ground at that time. I was just, you know, confused and heartbroken and just looking for something that I could focus energy on and that would let me keep teaching, which is something I really love doing. So yeah, I mean, I guess when viewed through that lens, it's totally believable that I didn't think to mark down, all right, March 19th, this is the first day. But definitely going forward, we'll have to have some fun. We'll have to have some fun on stream. I mean, not that we're not having fun right now. You know what I mean. It's important to celebrate. I love celebrating anniversaries, honestly. I like having the opportunity to look back over a year and sort of see how far I've come, see the things that make me happy that have happened, the things that make me sad that have happened, and to get that opportunity to share and to celebrate with the people that I love. It's just such a wonderful, wonderful experience. So yeah, going forward, we'll have some fun. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but it's going to be enjoyable, that's for sure. Whew. All right. Yeah, ooh, feeling some good activation along those obliques right now, which is always nice. Obviously, that's the goal. Hopefully, you're feeling that too. So we've got side 2, and then one more set of lateral raises, and then one more wall sit. Oh, holy crap. I feel like this class just flew by. Does anybody else feel that way? It feels like we just went woo, right on by, which is not a bad thing. Just, you know, proof that we got into the zone. Started talking about seltzer flavors and never thought of anything else. Oh my goodness. All right, getting ready for side 2. I have to very carefully lay myself on the mat so that I'm not whapping into the walls, which is, you know, a danger I never really had to worry about before, but I will take it because having an actual studio is such a pleasure. It is so nice to just have a space to go into. I never have to break down the lights. I never have to worry that I'm taking up, you know, useful space. I can just set myself up and we can hang out and have some fun and do some weight training. And yeah, it's good. It's good stuff, my friends. Whew. Oh yeah, feeling that oblique engagement. It's fascinating too because the extended crunches also, like, you know, the obliques are obviously driving the movement, but they're not the only muscle group that's getting worked a little bit, because you're lifting up that leg, so the quads get involved a little bit, the hamstrings get involved a little bit. You're holding that weight, so your shoulders are very much involved. And yeah, it really does actually impact a wide swath of our muscle groups, which is cool. I don't know how we're in the last set of reps. We've got 2 more sets to go, my friend. Oh, mango is delicious. Mango is delicious. Artificial mango flavoring. I would be interested to try it in something that had sugar in it. But otherwise, I think I will stick with the real thing. Oh, dried mango. There's a little organic grocery store up in Lyons, which I obviously haven't been to in ages because, you know, there's a pandemic on. I just don't travel in that direction right now. But, those things are just such good and dangerous snack foods. I love them so much. Mango is one of my favorite fruits, and I'm snobby about it because obviously I lived in a place where I could get it much more freshly grown than I can here. But you do what you must to find the flavors that you miss and love. And frankly, we live in an era where you can get relatively fresh fruit pretty easily, no matter where you live, which is so weird. So weird. Oh, you're a super taster. It's so fascinating. I actually have a couple of friends who are super tasters, and I feel like I get wildly differing accounts of how they enjoy that fact. Like, one of my friends, so I hate cilantro. I have it tastes like soap gene. And one of my friends is a super taster, and he loves cilantro. But it also tastes like soap to him. That just, I guess, doesn't matter, or maybe there are other flavors that come through for him that don't come through for me. I'm really not sure, but I'm fascinated by that because it's such an overwhelming component of the flavor profile that I'm like, how do you notice anything else when you're eating it? Like, I have to be very cautious when going to Mexican restaurants in particular. I have to make sure that I am paying attention to what has cilantro in it and in what form. If it is, chopped up enough and sort of deeply buried enough in other flavors, that's usually okay for me, although there have been exceptions. But if somebody's just, all right, that was 1 minute. If somebody's just dumping like fresh cilantro on something, I have to pick it out. It's awful. Ugh. Okay, yeah. Chocolate covered dried mango pieces. Oh. And Thai, yeah, that's another one. Absolutely. There was one time that I went out to dinner with my parents, and I got like a chicken dish, and the menu did not say anything about cilantro. And when it arrived, it was covered in a sauce that was just cilantro sauce. And I basically did not eat it because I was like, well, this tastes awful and is a highly unpleasant experience. So, hopefully next time I come here, it'll be better. Hi, my friends. Woo! Yeah! Holy crap! All right. We don't usually do a ton of stretching after this class. Let's just do a little bit. You know what? We worked our quads nicely, so let's do a standing quad stretch. Grab a wall, grab one foot in your hand, pull that heel up as close to your butt as you can get it. Really intensify the stretch in the quad. Even if you can do this as a balance, I recommend not, because if you do it as a balance, then you're splitting your focus between maintaining the balance on one side and trying to intensify the stretch on the other side, and you just end up in that situation where you're not doing anything particularly effectively, So that's my recommendation, my friends. All right, So let that foot go for the other side. And remember to breathe, especially if you're feeling really intense sensations in the muscle being stretched. Doing that breathing visualization can really help to soothe it, calm it down, and allow you to stretch a little bit more deeply. All right? All right, and let's just shake out our hands a little bit. Yeah. Shake out those hands. If you have a step counter, it's going crazy right now. Let's just swing the arms back and forth. We're not shoving them in any direction, just sort of letting momentum take them forward and back. And then one arm out, across the chest, grab it just above the elbow. Pull that upper arm into your chest and get that nice stretch in the shoulder and going down into the tricep a little bit. Yeah, get some breathing. We're just sort of standing in a nice stable position, feet about hip width, but whatever allows you to just stand here and stretch out that shoulder. All right, release the arms. Let them swing back and forth again a little bit more. Then let's do other side. All right, same notes. Woo! Feeling the stretch a little bit more on this side. Nice, 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 especially in my tricep on this side. Interesting. It's nice to notice where you feel different sensations, and particularly when we're stretching. You know, we do a lot of strength-based stuff, so it's easy for us to figure out what arms and, you know, which arm is stronger, which leg is stronger. But when we get into our stretching sequences, then we learn a little bit more about which limb has more flexibility, which limb is a little bit more stiff, and that kind of stuff. All right. Oh, my friends. Yay. Wow. All right, hang on. We're talking about spicy food. Spicy food is so delicious. Oh, interesting. I mean, that's fine if you don't like the flavor of buffalo wings. Like, people, you know, and I recognize that this is something I'm deprogramming in myself as well, because we love the things that we love. And there's this automatic visceral response when someone is like, oh, I hate, you know, buffalo wings. And it's like, how could you? Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow. And like, it's like, no, never mind. Calm down. People get to not like buffalo wings if they don't want to. Also, yes, totally agree. More for us. Mwahaha. Whenever the three of us get to hang out together in person again, we'll go for many foods, and if wings arrive, we will happily take them off of your plate. My loves, thank you. I feel very sappy right now. And I feel like I've been, yeah, I make a difference, so you'll like mine, which, to be fair, sometimes happens. And like, I do try to go back and try things again that I didn't like in the past, because I know for me, my palate has changed so much over the course of my life. And there are things that I absolutely loathed as a kid that I now absolutely love. You know, so I do try to go back and try things, well, with not like every day or every week, but like, you know, if somebody has made something that I'm not usually a fan of, I'll try it. Maybe this will be the time, or maybe it won't. As long as they can respect whatever that outcome is, I'm fine, you know? Yeah, if your problem is the entire flavor profile, that like, if you're like, no, I just don't want to do it, then also respect people's bodily autonomy to not eat buffalo wings. What a weird tangent we've gotten on for the end of class, my loves. All right, you know what? Everybody, grab your water and let's just toast to you, because you all have made this last year for me so much happier and healthier and more joyful than it could have been. And I am so, so grateful for getting to go on this journey with you and getting to guide you through fitness and exercise and talk about, you know, health, mental well-being, physical well-being, you know, taking care of ourselves, taking care of our communities, flavored seltzer and buffalo wings and video games and everything in between. You know, this is a community that is really important to me, and I can't believe we've been doing this for a year, and I cannot wait to see where we are this time next year, because I certainly couldn't have imagined being here this time last year. So who knows what's going to happen over the course of the next year. So we are now officially in year 2. Year 2. Holy crap. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. I feel very, very confident. So thank you. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining me on this journey. And here's to year 2. May it be filled with only the foods that you enjoy eating. Oh my goodness. Oh, his applesauce is really delicious. It is the one applesauce exception I will make, because I too do not like the texture of applesauce. So that is the one exception that I will generally make. But yeah, I feel ya. I feel ya. All right, my loves. Well, we've got one more class this week. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. is the weekend kickoff, which is our awesome strength and stamina focused bodyweight class. So I hope you join us, assuming that you're awake at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, which most of you will. Oh, jeez. I gotta, oh, no. Oh, no. Anyway, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All of those handles will be in my end cards, but they are all variations on Blanche Case Fitness. My YouTube channel is where I upload all the VODs from these streams, so you never have to miss a class, even if you can't make the live cast. So definitely head over there and subscribe. If you want to help support me financially making these streams, I do have a coffee account for one-time donations, which are always very, very much appreciated. Or you can subscribe to the channel here, which is just so freaking exciting. And if you don't have the money for that, you can always absolutely follow the channel. And if you want to help keep growing this community, getting us diving into year 2 with firing on all cylinders, then please tell your friends, your family, your loved ones, your coworkers, anyone looking for an awesome class. I stream 4 days a week. There's probably going to be a 5th day added at some point in the next month or 2. We have just such a wonderful group of people who gather here. It's been an amazing ride, and I can't wait to see where it goes next. So thank you all for being here on this Friday evening. Definitely finish up your water. Make sure to get some food. Gotta replenish those glycogen stores, for especially if you're coming to tomorrow's class. Enjoy whatever else you've got on your docket, and I will see you all back here again tomorrow. Mwah. Have a great night.